Anyway, we're joining the game right now. G2 versus TL. TL gets side selection. They're probably picking blue.
Blue side is pretty good.
Yep.
Get some power picks.
Yep. All right. Yeah. We're just, we're just guessing. Our producer reminded us that we haven't confirmed side selection because, of course, they get time to pick. They're given 5 minutes. You probably don't need 5 minutes.
That's a long time.
You have to pick a number. 5 is the number they chose.
But think about it this way.
Okay.
Within 1 minute, you know what side you're taking. You probably know immediately. You already had it planned. So then the next 5 minutes, you get to prepare for that while your other team's like, what side are we on?
Yeah.
It's a huge advantage.
You get to re-prep your draft. Okay, we're actually picking blue side this time. So what's our blue side draft look like? Oh, we can't ban all their flex picks? GGL. And then you go on a draft, and then it's fine. So that's probably what's going through the TL comms right now.
Yeah, I don't even know if you want blue side against G2. Then they just get a counter pick on you, flex with the last one.
Well, the weird thing is, like, even if you're red side against G2, you pick your last champion, they go, well, no, we want this matchup instead.
Yeah,
like
we want Yasuo top lane. It's actually Nico mid this time, or Nico bot. You throw it wherever you want.
Sure.
They can just flex it all over the place. It's actually insane.
Yeah, it's like a gym, just flexing everywhere. Mirror selfies across the whole squad. I think it's actually very interesting, like thinking about the G2 draft, because I've talked with a couple of the EU casters, some of the EU players about sort of like the G2 sort of draft style, and a lot of it seems to be about player confidence, where it's like, I mean, it's not like I play top lane professionally, but Perkz is like, but I can win Yasuo and R, it's fine, just like send me up there. It's no big deal, we'll just do it.
Yeah, as I said it yesterday. A lot of pro players are really good at their roles. G2's team is just so good at League of Legends, it does not matter where you put them.
Yeah.
They can still beat you, regardless of role.
It is really impressive. Like, they're absurdly skilled players, and it's something that I'd always been interested in trying to figure out is how much can players actually bring in new champs? Because obviously, like, the champ pools are basically oceans for a lot of the G2 players here. And it's like, okay, so how much practice do you have to put in before you're willing to play, say, Yasuo top when you're a mid laner turned into a bot laner? Okay, well, Yasuo's in your pool, but you've never really been a top laner. And how much practice are you willing to put in or not have and then still do it on stage? And then kind of indexing that against, okay, well, when is too much?
Yeah, it's also like, maybe we play this once professionally. Do I need to sink 20 hours into learning this champion and the matchups in order to make it actually worth it? That's right. That's a really hard thing to sell a coach.
Exactly. And G2 does it with, from what I can tell, limited practice. They say, it's fine, I know Yasuo. No, I've never played Yasuo in our top lane before, but how hard can it be? You win while the boomerang, and then he wins the matchup. So if you do that and it works, then you're sick. If you do that and you keep getting egg in your face because you don't know the matchups and you don't know like the top lane gank timings, then that's when you get abused, and that's what confidence is. You sometimes you overstep.
Luckily for G2, they have a lot of confidence, just not against some of the anti-fun champions like the Karma.
Yeah, they're gonna drop that one out. Obviously, there are still very powerful champions overall. Team Liquid do get first pick. We were right, they chose blue side. Galaxy Brain right there. Nico is banned away from Wunder / everyone else on the team.
So one of the things the desk was calling for Team Liquid's side was to draft early game. The only time we've actually seen G2 get challenged over in the LEC is when teams can go at them hard and go at them early. That means strong laners, good early gank setup for Xmithie out of the jungle, because otherwise they will just outskill you. And we know how good G2's mid game is, so gonna be keeping our eyes on picks like the Jarvan, the Sejuani for Team Liquid to try and get the ball rolling early on.
Sedge would be my most likely pick for them, but we'll wait to see what the first or the last ban's going to be, then into the first pick. But I feel like almost every North American team first picks Sejuani in most drafts if allowed. Karma would supersede that, but Karma's never allowed up, so that's never really a consideration. G2, 2 seconds to go, final ban. Aatrox actually dropped off, so Impact gonna have a bit of a harder time toppling with that one. It actually pushes me more towards saying, okay, it's Sejuani.
Sedge seems like the obvious choice here for TL. And then we go on Pyke watch for G2. How early do they want it? Which lane is it going to be going to? Because the only one we haven't seen is Jankos so far. And I'd love to see him pull it out, try to challenge, because obviously Ocelot was not the best Pyke player on G2. We learned that one yesterday.
Yeah, he's only 5th best.
Maybe 6th.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Jankos... Does Jankos play it?
We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But I know last year a lot of junglers were actually practicing Pyke jungle in LEC.
Sure. But I think you're not allowed onto the scoreboard until you actually play it. So by default, it puts him at 5th best also.
Well, let's just put him in the game right now.
Yeah, maybe it'll go well for him. Yuumi is grabbed up though. Yuumi definitely a very, very strong site right here. And with Sivir available, I actually super love Yuumi Sivir as a duo lane. Again, a lot of North American teams would instantly grab Yuumi Sivir and play that for the 2-on-2, but G2, other things in mind maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Sivir, the Ezreal both just...
Oh, I love it! Love it!
But where's it going?
My gosh. Well, if your insect can be a jungler, we know it can be a top laner or a bot or a mid laner as well. Yuumi's going support though, that's for sure. I'll wait to see though, but that's gonna be fun. I think you can find yourself some good matchups though into this. I would still pick Sivir here myself. Sivir I think is actually quite good in his head. You can easily spell shield the Death Mark. I think he's overall the strongest bot lane as a champion, and TL tends to play fairly standard, but no, they're actually gonna go for Sona X.
Sona plus Taric has to be the option here because the Tahm Kench is already banned away. We haven't seen any other solid pairings with that champion. So they're going for teamfight options here. You have a very beefy front line. You have sustain. Grabs is unhappy, but hey, we've seen G2 demolish Sona Taric bot lanes before. This is not the early game attack against G2 that we were looking for. So this is questionable to me.
It is scale and get into team fights and Twisted Fate. That is, I believe, actually locked in. And so we're going to the second ban phase there, and it's Aurelia off the table. Now, of course, when you are playing a support-heavy composition like Sona Taric and you're playing a tank jungler, you do need some kind of hyper carry or at least strong late-game threat elsewhere to support. Aurelia would be one of those options.
So here's the thing with G2. Now that we have Twisted Fate and Zed, these are both conventionally mid laners, so we know there's some kind of cheese going on from G2's side. Usually they don't give it away this early on into the draft, but we could potentially be seeing the Twisted Fate going down into the bottom lane. If you actually want to go way back to IEM days, Twisted Fate Jungle has been a pick that has hurt a lot of North American fans' hopes to winning competitions, so keep our eyes on that one.
Yeah, that was also, what, a Mikyx special, I believe, back in the day, helped them get into the
Yeah, it was Unicorns of Love beating TSM.
Yeah.
With the on-hit TF Jungle.
That was a very good one.
Was it?
Sure. I actually really like Mikyx's career. I thought he's been a good player for a while. I've enjoyed watching him play. Gangplank dropped off the table as well. That can typically be good into other melee top laners there if maybe Akali wants to come through for G2 playing a million assassins. I'm kind of guessing Zed top at this point. As the overall matchup, Zed top with TF into the mid lane, I think you lose a lot of TF's power level if you don't play him mid because of how his ultimate works. It's not fully global. You need to be somewhat centralized to get somewhere useful. So I'm expecting Caps to keep that champion.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call out. The only thing I would say is that I want some kind of easy access crowd control for G2 on the bottom side of the map if they want to attack the Sona in the early game. We saw the Nico plus the Gragas yesterday be very, very powerful. So we're just going full assassins here. This is the Evelynn plus Yuumi synergy. The permanent spell that makes your Q invisible. This is actually so toxic.
Yep. Well, it's going to be Team Liquid having to really deal with that this time around. Good luck to them, but now it's time for them to draft their entire rest of the competition, both solos.
I mean, think about this too, right? You're a solo Team Liquid player, you know, you're Doublelift running around the map. All of a sudden, Evelynn appears out of stealth with a Yuumi on top. Twisted Fate ult comes in as well. This is the ultimate seek and destroy composition from G2.
Well, Team Liquid so far not looking like a lot of really aggressive, strong lanes. The Lee Sin hover doesn't seem that important because you do have Sejuani already, unless you do something kind of crazy. But I feel like Sej top is not that strong, but maybe my words. TL need a top or mid laner, most likely top on an impact. And it's actually Lee Sin, so they're moving things around. I don't know exactly what this is, but I'm guessing Sejuani top.
It could be, I mean, if they're thinking that it is going to be a Zed in the top lane or something, you have a lot of tools to deal with melee assassins on that Sejuani, but I just want to wait. I want to wait. I don't know what G2 are doing over here. Give me 8 more seconds and then tell me where it's going. I think it's actually Shyvana, by the way. That's my prediction.
There we go, Shyvana's locked in. So where is everything going? Obviously, Yuumi support.
It's Shyvana top lane. It's Shyvana top lane, Evelynn jungle, and then I think it's going to be,
what if it's Eve bot just for the invisible? Like, you level up really slowly to get to level 6, but for invisibility?
No, I think you just hit level 6, and then Yuumi leaves bot lane. So maybe it actually is Zed bot, right? Perkz playing Zed bot lane, because then Zed can solo lane after level 6.
Yeah. Well, this is not going to be a heavily aggressive bottom lane that's really going to, I would say, heavily punish Sona Taric. It's not that all-in power level. The CC, very limited. Evelynn's ganks, not that great either pre-6. So this does let TL get through landing phase. I actually would expect Doublelift to be pretty close on farm. And CoreJJ rather at the very beginning. So that's going to be something that helps the North American squad. But I feel like every single lane for G2 has pressure. Not that I really know the Sejuani-Shyvana matchup, but I'm guessing it's Shyvana favorite.
I think Shyvana with the HP burn can actually just shred through pretty easily in that 1 versus 1. Obviously that changes because I think Sejuani brings so much good gank assist to the top lane, especially early on, because Shyvana has no great way to escape from these fights. It is very easy for Xmithie to path up topside early and try to shut down Wunder.
Well, I think all of us saw this draft coming. I think there were 0 surprises in this one whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted the Shyvana, so
yeah,
obviously I knew it was happening.
We got the blind pick Shyvana. That was all of that. Beautiful stuff right here. Both teams getting ready to go on to the Rift as day 2 begins. And North American hope for their redemption against the LEC as Team Liquid and G2, the respective winners, the MSI finalists. G2 had 3-0'd them. TL can look for revenge right here as we get in a game. Let's go Liquid! And to get some insight on this amazing, wonderful G2 draft, we have Evelynn standing by with Grabs for an interview.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Grabs. Grabs, you said yesterday that you were disappointed to see the Sona Taric come out from C9, so you're seeing it again today. What was the reaction?
Disappointment and boredom, but yeah, I think we made the spicy comp enough to give them a chance. Yeah, Jankos want to play Eve. We never played Eve before, so that's gonna be fun.
He's never played Eve, but he's breaking it out now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Now tell me, what was the inspiration behind this comp? Was this just a spur of the moment?
So as I said yesterday, Perkz doesn't want to play ADs. So Yuumi Z is something we actually practiced a bit. But yeah, the Evelynn is a bit of the blue there, but besides that, I think we're fine.
Give me a quick percentage chance. What's NA's chances of taking this game?
I mean, with our comp, 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah, I give him a chance, actually.
NA likes those odds. Well, best of luck to you and the team, and back to you guys.
Love it. They need the help.
Sounds great.
So this is the draft. Yeah, that's way better than how MSI went, so I like the increase in odds. We got our blue buff start here for G2. Very heavy leash. Jankos would certainly lose a lot of health and a fair bit of mana. Taking this buff by himself, grabs that no problem, goes on the grop next. That'll be fine for him. TF, very early bag of gold. It's going to feel good. Oh. Mikyx doesn't land slow with his first Q. Look at this early trading. Jensen!
He just murdered him.
So much damage.
Almost. So I actually think we need to go sort of lane by lane and try to figure out what this G2 comp is trying to accomplish. So we'll start with bot lane. I think that's fair because right now TL have the advantage. I think they can poke relatively easily with the Sona, but Zed is one of those champions that even in mid lane as a melee champ has really good lane presence because of the way he can use his shadow to extend the range of his shurikens. You can land a fair amount of poke, so I think once this lane hits level 2 with the Yuumi Q to set up the slow and sort of guarantee the shurikens, they can maybe try it out attrition, but that's always going to be really hard against the Sona Taric.
A little bit of poke going down, so it's CoreJJ. Of course, keep in mind, TL does have 2 healers in the lane, so minor Yuumi poke is never really going to make headway here in this matchup. See double presses W, takes the full crawling projectile without issue there, and gold will continue to be earned. It does feel like Double should get a very early Sightstone combine here in this one. Mikyx probably won't be far behind either. He's playing it pretty well. Top lane matchup, pretty equal right now, but Wunder's going to be able to push in. This should be decent damage. Yeah. And that trade's going to be difficult. Impact doesn't have a ton of health regen right now, relying on the Doran shield and the single potion. And now mid lane, Cass already out of potions. Been good harassed by Jensen. There's the ward out forward. He's going to find the E for the slow. Can he juke the Q? There's the flash, nicely done by Caps. No flash predict for Xmithie. Out he goes.
Yeah, he has to lose the flash, but now his lane is in a really awkward position. Xmithie can just stick around here because there is no flash on Caps, but of course with Caps hovering towards that top side of the river, knowing Jankos is very likely on the top side of the map, Xmithie will probably wait another minute or 2 before looking for a return there.
And again, the wave grabbing down to the bottom lane. 24 CS for the Taric, only 12 for the Zed, so it is a very good start in the lane. Nice damage there on a Perkz as they trade back with the Shuriken. Not doing a lot of damage, and yeah, this is a 2-on-2 going very well for TL. You typically expect to lose lane Sona Taric, not this time. Jankos will walk by this ward.
One of the benefits of the Zed in the bottom lane is that he doesn't rely on mana. So in terms of overall sustained HP-wise, Doublelift and CoreJJ can try to build up their health pools, but they will be lowering their mana over the course. You can already see it's relatively low at the moment. So the longer they do stay in lane before a teleport, Perkz can maybe look to try and whittle down the HP bars, slowly burn through the mana as well, and then look for an all-in.
Jankos saw a little move right there. He actually walked through like he was walking towards the bottom lane, then after he's off the scuttle circle, then turned up to the jungle. But with the trinket ward, TL already knows he's gone that way. They pinged it out. Nice trade right there. That's good damage. And yeah, TL are now starting to run out of mana. Biscuit, if it was already picked up by Doublelift, was already chugged. And now, nice Q gun move towards Mikyx. But right back on a Perkz, he's going to stay safe.
Yeah, Mikyx can just tank that up and hop back in. They drop down this ward, and with Xmithie being forced back, they can look to fully reset this wave. Now with lower mana bars, Doublelift and CoreJJ can't do too much in the trading department.
Nice shurikens, though. Puts the Shadow in a very good spot. Hits, I think, 3 total champions across that 1 Q, so big hit there.
This is really rough for TL early on. All 3 lanes from G2 have pressure. You know, we mentioned a bit in the draft that Wunder's E does give him that % max HP damage on hit, so he can work through the health bar of Impact. He also has the Conqueror too, so scaling much further into the side lane, Wunder's going to have a pretty sizable advantage. And this is actually really interesting too to see him bring out the Shyvana, because Wunder is a player that we know loves to prep crazy stuff for top lane. We like to call him the 7 wonders of the LEC. He had 7 super unique champions prepped for MSI. We saw the Pike, I believe, the Vayne as well. The Shyvana may be one of those too, so it's always exciting to see what he tries to bring up to the top lane.
Well, and as the Ghost Poro goes away, we get to see the top lane's reset come through. Kindle Gem and a longsword there for Wunder, which could be pieces of Black Cleaver if nothing else. And we're going to see Shyvana do her reset and go towards Catalyst. So it looks like either Abyssal Mask, probably not Rod of Ages. I don't think her AP skilling is that good, but can take up somewhat. And Shyvana is fairly match damage heavy, so Abyssal Mask is actually pretty reasonable. Let's look at the bottom lane. TP was not used by either bot lane on their way back in. TP can be very good with Yuumi support because you bring her with you and you instantly come back in. Bot lane this time around is slow pushing away from TL towards G2. But Perkz, you can see how comfortable he feels playing up and not really afraid of getting harassed.
Gold just about dead even there between Doublelift and Perkz, and now's the point of the game where we look to see, I think, G2 try to explode across the map. Jankos is level 5, nearing level 6. Caps has his Destiny as well, so we can look to roam around the map. So once Jankos ticks over to that level 6 and gets that permanent stealth, which he should get after finishing the blue buff, they can look to make a play either bot lane or mid lane with the CC coming in from the TF.
CoreJJ finally taking his TP. Very big items onto him. He, of course, went Spellbook, grabbed the teleport. Now he's got the upgraded Sightstone now for him as he gets closer and closer to the actual upgrade coming through. Just 198 gold shared so far. Nice stun right there. Big damage towards Perkz as Jankos is around the wing. And this could be a slow into the attempted charm. Here comes TF as well. 4v2 in the bot lane. Flash. But Dylan's going to take so much damage. First blood. Execution. Now the TP's come in on the other side of the round. But so is Shyvana. Wunder stunned up. But this fight going to be difficult. Lee Sin coming in as well. It's a 5v5 after that Warden death. Wunder low on health. CoreJJ pushed away. Xmithie does find 1 kill and walks right back out. 4v4 onto the turret. Big damage on the Jensen. Has to flash away. Just barely stays alive. Slowed out by Evelynn. Hit by the turret as well.
G2 going to be able to pick up that kill and get away as Doublelift TP's in towards the back end of that. TL just didn't have the sustained damage to go against G2, but it was the level 6 timers that G2 used so well to find that first blood bot.
Really nice pickup there, and that's before the Yuumi NZ ults now as well. No recall going to be stopping this one as the team goes back. G2, though, getting the kill lead and, well, I should say, first blood lead and a gold lead overall as a result.
Very nicely done by them. Now, long cooldowns, though, that they're going to have to wait through. Teleports blown all across the board, except for Perkz, who holds on to his own. So he should be able to go back to base, pick up Caulfields with the money he's sitting on now. Just a couple hundred more gold, and he can get that for himself. But we see this. Jankos comes around for the loop here. Doublelift gets a little confident now that they chunked Perkz down below 50%. But Nemesis had already started the rotation down bottom lane. The CC from the gold card means very easy damage, and Doublelift almost goes down.
So much done. Does juke those shurikens to the side as double heal comes in. He's going to stay alive there on this one. But now Perkz, nice slow comes out of Mikyx. Going to keep Xmithie away, and Jankos right behind stealth on a control where they don't know he's there.
G2 could just look to TP back Perkz and Mikyx both. Get some items, then make a play. If Xmithie were to stick around, 3v3 would look good for them, I do feel. But instead, just going to back away with Jankos and maybe look up towards the top side of the map.
So Perkz is in the mix now once again as he does burn the TP. Good items into him. Xmithie going to find him. There's a kickback. They can get both of them. Not going to land crescendo. Crucial mistake there as Yuumi comes in, grabs the shield, runs right back out, finds another slow. Xmithie not going to land the chase, and that is a crucial mistake for Doublelift to not get the crescendo, but trying now for round 2. They will get the side of Taric. CoreJJ making up for lost time. Can they knock down Perkz? Jumps over the wall, stays alive. The great escape for G2.
Unreal, using the flash and getting the reset on the Shadow as well to escape. Huge props to Mikyx as well, who tanked multiple skill shots, popping out of his partner in Perkz to absorb so much of the damage and give Perkz the time he needed to escape.
Oh, very close windows there, but not going to be found. Dragon, of course, has been alive for a while. As mid lane pushes forward, small farm lead to Caps, but not too big. Is going for the attack damage TF, as you tend to expect nowadays. Waiting for the next reset to the top lane as they continue to earn money and push towards their next pieces. 1,300 gold in Wunder's inventory.
And sort of looking forward into this game, I think Team Liquid are actually in a pretty comfortable position. Their team fight overall is going to get better and better and better. They have so much utility from the Sejuani and the Taric, and the late game damage as well going to be quite good. Especially because G2 don't really have that much in terms of a real front line and sustained DPS later on. G2 going to be looking to split up the map, whereas TL must use their hard engage to find those fights. And the biggest thing for TL at the moment is the fact that Doublelift actually is dead on even in gold with Perkz. That is a huge difference here that we usually don't see this Sona Taric be able to recover so early in lane.
The very big deal right here. The quest is completed for the IF Frost there for Double, so he can freely last hit. Won't get wards till he recalls and gets all three, but now it's switching over to the farm lane, and we can see pressure at the top lane. Caps coming up, the jungler as well.
Impact is in a whole lot of trouble here. He's trying to get some damage down onto Wunder, but it's 3 versus 1.
Aftershock is down, so it's going to be full damage now onto Impact. Going to find a stun, but jumps right back away. The flash in for the charm. So much damage is found, and Caps finds the kill.
Really nicely done there by G2. Using the damage now, Perkz and Mikyx, they swap to mid lane after pushing out bot. This is what G2 do so well. Full map pressure from this team. As Caps leaves the mid lane to find that rotation, Perkz and Mikyx had also synced up their timing so that they would not lose anything on the bottom half.
Oh, and even in the bottom lane, TL actually not willing to take the extra time to hit the plates, get some extra gold, and walk away. So they're not going to get any extra money out of that one. They're going to instead reset to get items in inventory. Lost Chapter in tier comes in for Doublelift. Ninja Tapping now done for the Taric, so he's at least tanky. But that's going to be something to watch out for as time moves on, is how good the front lines can look versus how good the G2 assassination can be on the back lines.
Definitely. TL just need to weather the storm for now. Look for 25 minutes about is when, Doublelift is going to be finishing off his Archangel Staff plus the Lich Bane. Going to give him a whole lot of damage, but G2 going to be wanting to expedite the pressure in this early game. They still have the Destiny, so they can just run around and look for picks.
Go into Xmithie, and I guess Perkz can always go for the all-in. That's a flash away. They're going to find not the gold card. Caps out of mana. Was unable to do anything. That is a heartbreak right there. Would you rather lock a gold or a red card or not have one at all?
I don't know. There's just so many memes in that play right there. It's no card. It's no mana. It's a bad play.
Yeah, all around the world. Unlucky stuff right there. So an almost attempted kill. It is still flat out of Xmithie. All said and done. Looking for the stun. Not going to find that one. Perkz over the wall. Nice shadow play there. And out they go.
Looking at the itemization now too, G2 all finishing off their first items. That's a huge lead for them for the next minute or two before those next resets come in for Team Liquid. Big one for me is going to be the Spear of Shojin on Wunder. So when he all-ins with that ultimate, he's just going to be constantly smashing you, especially because his auto attacks will reset the cooldown of his Q. Those are going to be coming out rapid fire.
Yeah, Q, W, and E all very spammable, and it's a very auto attack speed-centric champion. So Wunder is going to be really good off that item. Mid lane going to be pushed down. Looks like that's likely to be first turret with how much damage it's being dealt. Jensen not going to chase them off, so Shelly's going to charge for about 2K.
TL bringing 5 members towards this mid lane. They may want to fight.
They find the stun onto the back line. Cap forces the flash away. Looking for the stun now onto the Shyvana. Decent damage there. A knockup comes in. There's the flash out. Turret's going to go down, but everyone is out of range to not grab the local first turret gold. So some of that money is left on the table. Still income found as Perkz split pushes the bot lane.
Yeah, I like the idea there from Team Liquid, but they're a little bit slow on the play, and they end up losing a lot. The mid lane tower solo plates more Perkz in the bottom lane, and Jensen.
Oh, that is damage! Assassin versus Assassin. Evelynn comes out on top by a lot. Bot lane still going to be pushed down by Perkz, happily split pushing in the side lane.
Team Liquid's jungle belongs to G2 now. This becomes so terrifying. You have invisibility from the Evelynn to pilot the Yuumi around. You also have Twisted Fate that can respond within a moment's notice. 3K gold lead should only get bigger if G2 can continue to find these picks.
Gonna find a stun and a double lift. Yuumi over the top as well, and not gonna be dying just yet as they look for the re-engage. They're gonna find another slow.
TP
Both
behind.
starters up, and this is now a 3v1 onto Caps with Mikyx
That's a
trying to help
double
as
TP.
well. Hoping to find a next stun. Nice Q, flash gonna land. They're gonna get the follow through. Caps will drop. But what else is gonna happen alongside this one as Jensen finds one kill, looking to chase down Jankos, he's gonna get away.
Nice response there from Team Liquid. They should look to secure the Drake and the mid lane turret on top of that as well. If they can do that, they put themselves in a much better position to approach into this mid game.
And as the Drake does indeed fall, that is picked up, Mount Drake will help with those sieges you're talking about there. Perkz on a ward, doesn't know it, but easily able to go away. Now there's the jump over. Oh, the ult dodges some. Back over the wall, but chase down. Xmithie held the Q the whole time. A nice kill for Team Liquid.
Trying to make the montage plays there, but Team Liquid find the kill. Perkz sitting on a ward without knowing it. And TL just picked up a couple of kills rapid fire across the map.
Nice stuff right there, but look at this. G2 is still about 3,500 gold up from farm in various lanes and the 3-0 turret score. TL have not answered that part just yet. Only the Mountain Drake puts them in some kind of a decent spot. This is still a scaling composition. I think their team fight is still very, very good. Not out of it just yet, but still a great early game for G2 as you expect out of the squad.
And right now, the biggest gap in terms of gold between these two teams is going to be on the top laners and the mid lane. So those solo picks that want to be splitting up and going into the side lanes, leading into that split push or cross-map G2 win condition is exactly where they want the money to be right now.
We got about 1,000 gold up for Perkz, but 1,600 to the mid lane there of Caps.
Kleptomancy.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help you a fair bit, and he got a lot of that turret gold. 3 plates, I think, by himself. Actually, 4 when the Herald charged in. Just had to walk away from the rest of it. As Wunder clears away the top lane, and actually, it's Spear of Trojan into some flat pen. As I said, Shyvana does deal a lot of magic damage, and so, yeah, your E is pure magic. All of your spells, aside from the Q, auto attack is pure magic. So it could be a Trojan into AP Shyvana.
Look,
We'll
I've never done the math on this build. I'm going to be honest. I know as an analyst you expect me to have prepared all of this, but this looks more like a TFT build than
I feel
actual
like-
Summoner's Rift.
I actually feel like I saw you in, maybe it was a different playtest, or in the playtest fit playing AP Shyvana like a couple years ago.
Oh, that was actually me.
Yeah, I watched
tested
you
some
play
AP
AP Shyvana.
changes.
Yeah, I literally watched you play this champion before. That's a kill for Jensen and Perkz. All right, Team Liquid at least showing signs of life. And they have knocked down Perkz 0, 2, and 1. Big damage coming across just in case the Taric ult comes down as they 4v3. Caps will indeed die, and Team Liquid starting to turn on in the mid game.
Yeah, TL are doing exactly what they need to do. Forget about the side lanes. Just group up and force fights. You have so much CC, especially with the Shyvana, but you have to be careful when you're by yourself. Jankos is looking for pick.
Oh, that's Jankos, and it's Mikyx to the side, trying to battle with the Yuumi, but he's rooted in place. Big damage out of Evelynn, and down goes Xmithie. Good pickup there.
Wunder also in the area. G2, even after getting picked off a couple times themselves, in a 3v5 situation on the map, they still want to go in. That's how good they are feeling about this game, and still with a 3,000 gold lead, they can look for plays like this.
Down to the mid lane. Here we go one more time. A big slow into CoreJJ. Damage on a double lift. Oh my god, that's the first. But Core's running out of health. Very tanky, and the Taric was still getting bursted down, and Jankos grabs his 4th kill, carrying the team on his Evelynn game.
Yeah, the full dragon E does so much damage!
Oh my word! Ow!
Another one for Wunder, and Jensen taking damage as well. He's gonna have to back away. G2 absolutely pushing the pedal to the metal here. With the Roam squad, you know, what can you do, TL, if you are not 5 players stacked on top of each other? You will just die.
Yeah, they're going to need to get into team fights at some point, but G2 doing a great job splitting them apart. TL have yet to find themselves a turret here in this one, as Caps' Twist of Fate has moved down to the bottom lane. He's got the Triforce moving towards the Wit's End next.
All right, take one more look at this, because Wunder hops on in. His E does 50% with the damage over time tick, with Doublelift standing on the ground. That is absolutely absurd. And he gets the movement speed from his W as well as the Yuumi to make sure that ridiculous hitbox connects.
Snipe, 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 gets the kill.
And also the nastiest thing, I'm realizing now, the Spear of Shojin is not for the stats. on Shyvana. It's literally just to reduce the cooldown of her E. Because all the damage from AP Shyvana comes from that Dragon Form E, the big AoE skill shot that comes on out. So if you're able to get those auto attacks down and reduce the cooldown, you're going to be an absolute terror.
Yep. Do want to point out there is a physical damage scaling on the E, so actually does have more damage from AD than from AP right now, but regardless, yeah, that is working very, very well. Is going to be spamming those spells in team fights. That's going to be up all the time. Debbie for move speed, E for poke. It's going to be beautiful. Love the build. Double flat pen is in. Here we go. The play does double it.
1v2.
Yeah, but Perkz right away. Very easy to get out before the dazzle can land. Whew.
There's also a Seraphs on Doublelift, so if you're getting worried, oh, Jensen should be.
Jensen Jankos, and keep in mind, he's very low. He's almost dead to just the Eve ultimate, but now coming down to the bottom side. Taric going to be popped. They'll keep them alive, but there's going to be a re-engage. Jensen pushed away. Caps puts him at 5 health. The re-engage will kill the very speedy Shyvana, and the chase up into Zed as well. Now into the back line, looking for a little bit more. The flash slow on the Caps. Jumps over the wall now. Impact wants in for a bit more as well. Jimmy puts in the shield, still chasing down Caps. The stun's going to land. They should pick this one up as double backs down Mikyx, and Caps will fall as well.
And TL can move straight into the Baron. Now, yes, Jankos is alive, but that's a 5-for-4 trade in favor of Team Liquid right at the 20-minute mark when the Baron does spawn. All Jankos has is his ultimate to try and get to the pit for the steal.
Big damage going to be here. So yeah, Jankos would have to ult backwards or walk through. Controller will see him coming in, though. That's very well placed there by TL. He can wait around the wing. Aggressive Controller sees the Baron health. That gets knocked down. 5,000 HP left on Baron. Jensen is nearby. Doesn't yet see where the Evelynn is, but knows he's pretty far away. Will it be the backwards ult? There's no vision for Eve, so it seems so unlikely, and in fact, so far away. You can now see him on our screen. Was the bottom side. That's cleaned up. Lots of shields, lots of heals. TL grab Baron.
Jankos.
Ults backwards, tries to stay alive. He's going to be slow, setting up for his team. Big damage coming across, and Jankos will kill himself.
What is he doing? I don't know, trying to pick up scraps on the backside, but Team Liquid, out of nowhere, even up the gold. They get the Baron, and now they're in control.
Well, all it took was a 4-assassin team, and Team Liquid able to win the team fight to the mid game, now get Baron, and now they can start to pick up some turrets. This team should be very, very good while grouped. They should get a lot done now pushing to the mid lane.
This is the best news for Team Liquid because now facing against the Baron, G2 all of a sudden side lanes don't look so good for them with those Baron buffed minions coming on in. As soon as TL regroup is 5 towards this middle lane, they can look to get a lot of standing gold on the map. They had not gotten a single turret for the first 20 minutes of the game, but after that one fight, they can get so much.
They're likely to. You can watch that fight from the mid lane again. A 4 for 0 for TL.
I think it starts off with Jankos just getting this kill on Jensen, or
Almost.
just barely, right? Because here comes Nemesis, or Caps rather, hopping in for Jensen, who does survive. And double invulnerabilities coming down on towards double. Get the Seraphs too for the sustain, so there wasn't going to be the kill there on towards Perkz. And once you split up G2 like this and divide them while you're just running at them with multiple members, with such a beefy front line that can't take any damage, you can get so much.
Yeah. Any Sona Taric team at the beginning of the fight goes well, the end of it is always for you as well. They got through the ults, they survived getting split up, and on that push, they knocked down middle inhibitor.
They just opened mid. They literally have 4 people outside of the base. Perkz is the only one defending, and TL got an in for free.
I don't think you defend that comp, though. Like, I think there's 0 chance you defend that siege. I think it's actually better for them to push the side lanes down and keep, look for a tier 2 turret, keep the other waves in a good spot. I think you actually always lose mid. And now Jensen's gonna try to find his opening on a Perkz. Decent damage there. Goes invisible. Over the wall goes Perkz.
Oh.
Nice! Jukes back, and Jensen not having a way back over the wall.
Like the spicy plays there between Perkz and Jensen, looking for the solo outplays onto each other. Jankos does pick up the Mountain Drake.
That's nice. Not great from behind, but still
No.
useful overall. More CDR picked up for Wunder now. Has the...
Do you really want to go for impact here?
Now Jankos spotted. He's going to probably feel pretty safe. And as the team comes around, they have just the cannon mini, but now a new wave comes in. That'll be a secondary lane pushed in. Turret number 4, that'll tie that record. As TF, Caps solo farming the mid lane that got pushed in, just gaining XP, but now Jensen's got to be careful. Is ultiless, flashless as well, but finds Jankos off in the wings. No way out, stunned up and taken down, 11-6 in kills.
Impact still has his ultimates. They can look for the chase and look for even more here. Perkz to use his shadow. He's in trouble.
Shadow now, they can find the stun. When does he throw it out? Right now he's going to. There's the root coming back around, and again, Crescendo will not quite land. A root, though, onto an invulnerable impact means he is safe for this one. They will push down another turret in the bot lane.
TL get the tower after the big pick on towards Jankos, and now what can G2 do? They have absolutely nothing, no way to kill Doublelift. This should be another inhibitor.
This seems very likely. It is overall on the map a 4 versus 5. TL grouped up, lots of shields and healing. They can keep pushing this turret down, and it's really only Poke, but it's Poke that is reset by Sona and Taric as that turret is going to fall. Still, they've got their last player alive now. It could be a 5-on-5, but it's some of the backline. Perkz very low. Ult's in to find some space, but no, it's going to be kills picked up. Team Liquid pushing into the base. The ult not going to happen for Jankos, and the heals will continue. A flash will find another stun. Mikyx jumps in, but he's going to drop anyway. 2 versus 5. G2 cannot defend this one. And Team Liquid looked like a group stage win over G2 is happening.
TL are going for the Nexus now. Jankos and Caps can do absolutely nothing. One Baron is all it took, and TL get NA's first win at Rift Rivals.
Well, Grabs gave him 50-50, but TL definitely made it convincing. A 25-minute win as Team Liquid finally striking the group stage at Rift Rivals.
MSI champions who? Woo! Team Liquid.
Yes. Unofficial MSI champions, Team Liquid. LCS had a very rough start to the first day, 0-4. But Team Liquid headlined the day with a win. The rest of the group stage will be played out. 4 more matches in this group stage. It's at least a good start.
Well, forget about the first 20 minutes, because that wasn't the greatest start for Team Liquid. But
Great
hey,
for G2.
they had the team fight comp, you know? They played to that win condition. They kept grouping up as 5. It didn't work every single time, but they knew what they needed to do to come away with the win.
And I just want to point out that Vedius was absolutely wrong in his analysis.
Oh,
Trying to
absolutely.
say, hey, draft an early game team, camp one of the lanes. No, it was Team Liquid drafting a team fight composition and outscaling 3 assassins with some actual tanks. Very good team fighting through Sona Taric. Certainly you can say, all right, somewhat of a troll draft for G2. I think that's everyone's kind of read here. But I will
Shyvana
say,
top,
I
Evelynn
will
jungle.
I will make the bad faith argument. Bad faith argument of G2 is known for picking obscure things and having it work and being like, we meant it all along.
Absolutely.
I don't think they're going to repeat.
to be 100% serious.
This was clearly a very serious draft. We heard it from Grabs himself. This was them trying very hard. This is what they were going to do in Game 4 of MSI Finals if TL were to win a game.
G2 are going to be angry now, though, because they don't like playing against Sona Taric.
Yeah.
They absolutely hate losing to Sona Taric.
Well, you know what you can do about that? I hear there's like a pick and ban phase that's
Try
every
harder?
draft where you can ban the champions you don't want to play. Just you know, throwing some advice out there for the LEC fans. Either way, for more on North America's first 5v5 win of the tournament, let's throw it down to an interview with Team Liquid's mid laner.
Thanks, guys. Jensen, congratulations. Team Liquid finally did it. They pulled off the first win for NA at Rift Rivals. But I want to ask you, going into that game, what was your first reaction looking after the draft?
We weren't really sure where the champions would go, so we were a little confused. But I don't know, G2 just does crazy stuff. Even when we practice against them, you never really know where the champion's going to go. So it's really hard to predict how to play against them. So they're a really insane team.
And this was basically your rematch after MSI. So was it what you expected?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I personally think we were better than what we showed at MSI. I mean, obviously, I do think G2 is the better team, but I felt like we didn't really play our game, and I think today we showcased a bit better performance than what we did before. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that we won, but I still think we could have played better. But I think they also messed around a bit.
Yeah, we still have some more games today to catch up for NA, but I want to ask you, 0-4 yesterday for North America. What's holding us back?
That's a good question.
Please tell me.
I don't know. I feel like EU is just really smart at all stages in the game, and it feels like we have a bit of catching up to do, but I don't know if I can pinpoint a specific issue. It just seems like they're better at most stages of the game.
And our next game is going to be Cloud9 versus Origin. What do you think Cloud9 needs to do to pick up the second win for North America?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, what that guy said, put me back in. No, I don't know, actually. I think G2, I mean, I think C9 is actually a pretty good team if they can play their game. I think yesterday they didn't have the best performance, but maybe today they can do better.
Fingers crossed for Cloud9 today. But Jensen, again, congratulations, and thank you for picking up the first one for North America.
Thank you.
But that's it for us here. Back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. A feels-good victory for North American fans as TL wins the rematch against G2 here on the first game of the day. You want to jump in?
It's just because I feel so bad for Team Liquid because from the perception of fans, they either lose to what people may consider a troll draft, or they beat G2 not trying hard, right? And it's like, it's frustrating because I felt like Team Liquid actually showcased a lot of good things in this game, and I feel like they punished the mistakes of G2, who honestly demonstrated a lot of cocky play, and they aptly got punished for it.
Okay. While this may not be the 5-champion composition that G2 would draft in Game 5 of a World Finals or an MSI Finals best of 5, I do want to dive into this draft because I'm not as convinced as everyone else that this is, just a troll draft. Just G2 not trying anything. They're so damn good. No. There's reasoning behind this.
Exactly. Now, there may be too many aspects of these strategies in one composition, but there are individual strategies that in other cases we'd be like, oh my God, that's so genius from G2, utilizing the either Evelynn plus Yuumi in invisibility, Yuumi style bombing, throwing out the Qs, or the Evelynn stat stick for Zed. They talked about that one specifically as practicing it multiple times. Like these parts are individually things that they would use. Maybe not all together, but Yuumi multiplies your stats. Zed also already able to get extra AD. So you basically focus more stats onto one person who's extremely mobile and make a super assassin with the team. Yes, maybe you don't want to combine that with a whole bunch of other assassins, but also Twisted Fate in the mid lane, extremely good at splitting the map. You can see the idea there. They're trying to split it up and get picks everywhere. So Twisted Fate comes down, you have multiple assassins, and they do it in the early game successfully.
Yeah, and so my biggest issue with the draft from G2 was the Evelynn, largely because I think one of the things that she has a problem with is her weak 1 to 6. And arguably in this comp, that's not too bad because most of them are waiting for that level 6 mark before they try and force plays. But then you want to try and make lots of ganks happen. And I feel like the outside of mid, she actually has no gank setup at all. Because a Zed Yuumi bot lane doesn't have the optimal setup unless you're hard committing to that dive. And it's a Taric Sona, which can be difficult to kill once they hit that level 6. And same towards the top side, what CC is Shyvana going to provide to allow the Evelynn to actually set up these plays? So I think if they'd gone for a slightly different jungler, this comp would have made a lot more sense to me. Just because I think that individually, as you said, I like Shyvana into Sejuani. I think that it's a great tank matchup, and we can see in the mid game how powerful it is, especially once you have the Spirit Sojourn combined with some of those AP roots. And I think the bot lane has potential, as you said, in terms of the Zed Yuumi duo.
Yeah, I think the thing that could bring it all together is Twisted Fate, right? If Evelynn post level 6 is able to get ganks on mid for Twisted Fate, then you allow the Zed to bring the CC to the other areas that you then go and gank with, and that's the kind of idea. You keep them on the run 24/7, basically. And yeah, we did also get to see the Shyvana. I was super excited for that because I have done AP Shyvana jungle.
Yeah.
I never built a Spear of Sojin, though, for the extra cooldown on spamming out E's, and I was really excited to see that take over, even though it never actually happened.
I like it. But what makes sense here from a G2 perspective is the way the composition plays, right? I think that, more than anything, is what speaks to me, is it makes sense for G2 to be trying these things because this is the style that G2 can be successful at, is small skirmishes, get ahead early, blow open big leads, and then it's just about cleanliness and execution to close out the game. And in this case, they faltered on that step.
Yeah, I thought that they tried to force a lot of jungle invades when they didn't have pressure. And like, this is one of the best examples and really I think the game-defining fight. But you can see Jankos, they're trying to set up a pick onto Jensen, but they don't have any control over mid. So both CoreJJ and Doublelift get to the fight first, and now G2, when they were supposed to be trying to set up a collapse, actually get collapsed on themselves. So it just felt like G2, they just felt like they could have as much freedom and as much control to play this game as they want. And this is where I'm like, I feel bad for Team Liquid because this was a very clear example of, in terms of individual skill, that gap isn't massive. TL isn't so bad that they're just gonna let you do whatever you want, and they aptly punish every time G2 overextended.
That took place 19 minutes into the game. You can see via the gold graph there that was the inflection point of gold lead for G2. Felt like a tipping point. If they were to come out ahead, that would be the end. But it went the other way, and Team Liquid was able to claw back.
Exactly. We spend so much time talking about G2's composition because it's so much flashier, and there are all these new and shiny tools and amazing things to use, but Team Liquid's tried and true. This is a Sona Taric, why the power comes for the mid game, for the team fighting. They even have the extra stability of the Sejuani from the top side for the CC that you see. If you can't make mistakes like that versus this type of team in the hands of Team Liquid. And Jensen touched on it briefly, these are the strengths, right? The team fighting, when you bring these together, if you give over the gold from the spread out assassin team in the mid game, how quickly they will take that gold and end the game.
It's awesome to see G2 continuing to test the limits in Champions Select, test the response from the North American teams, giving us some good practice in that regard.
And this is something that I'm still very excited about. Even if the draft perhaps wasn't optimal, I thought we saw a lot of really cool things in the early game from G2. A lot of the successful skirmishes they made happen. That level 6 bot with the TF was like very cleanly executed. And I think we saw a lot of positives from this G2 draft, and hopefully they can find ways to refine it so that it can be utilized more in the future. But you can see how quickly, if you make that one mistake, it dissolves. And Team Liquid were very quick to punish that mistake when it became available.
Team Liquid to grab the first victory for North America. We are stepping away. When we return, though, Cloud9 takes to the stage opposite Origin. You won't want to miss it.
Get it. Good jump. I stun him. It's over. He's shot. Oh, I got it. Run. Good VV.
Mid lane tower, solo plates more first to the bottom lane to 2 and Jensen.
Oh, that is damage! Perkz on a board, doesn't know it, but easily able to go away. Now there's the jump over! Oh, the ult dodge is some!
Yeah, the full dragon, he does so much damage!
Oh my word!
Akali, or TF?
I'm 1 HP, I'm 1 HP.
We're fighting.
I cannot help.
Keep pushing, keep going.
I cannot help. Help me.
I'm here.
A 25-minute win as Team Liquid finally struck in the group stage at Rift Rivals.